Stamp with Teah. Got a message on my, there it is, it went away. Welcome to Stamp with Teah. I am Teah Woodward, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am glad to be here today. I've had a little bit of a break. I took some time off for a medical issue, and I'm really grateful to be back today. And it looks like my hair is gonna all fall down in my face. Good thing I have a ponytail holder nearby. So I'm just a minute early. I'm going to check on my computer to make sure that I'm live. I'm going live in a different way than I normally do. And so I want to make sure that it's really working. It does say live on this screen, but we've had some problems with people being able to find me with the link that I provide. And this time I set up my event differently. And sorry, here we go. Close that, close that, close that. And let's see. And it looks like it's live, yay! So hopefully, if you're one of those people that in the past has had an issue being able to connect with my YouTube lives, hopefully this new way of me setting up the event will take care of that particular issue. So yay! I mean, it looks like it's a yay. It looks like it's quite a bit delayed from what I'm seeing on the computer is delayed from what I'm seeing on my phone that I go live with. So, well, okay, so I think it is, yep, I'm right on time now. So let me tell you just a few things really quickly, and then we'll get into this card. So this is the card that I'm making today. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. But we're at the very end of December. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. And at the on January 5th, this new mini catalog goes live. And a couple of things regarding this mini catalog. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you would like somebody to send you one of these catalogs and you live in the United States, I can do that for you. Just send me an email at stampwithteah@gmail.com and I would be glad to do that. So that was point number one. Point number two, in this catalog, there are some new ribbons. And I'm going to do a ribbon share. And how that will work is I will send 1/5 of each of the spools of ribbon in so that you don't have to buy the entire thing. I think I'm going to do better if I get my notes right here in front of me. There are there's 6 different products. I actually have them here. When I turn the camera down, I'll show them to you really quickly. Actually, I don't want to waste that time. So I'm going to just show them to you now. So this is a combo set that's in one of the packs. It's got this beautiful, can you see that little stitch on there? On the burlap, in a super soft hand. So there's that one. There is this Pool Party Grosgrain ribbon. There is this variegated, and this one is like whisper soft, just super soft. Balmy blue and white variegated. This one is Night of Navy. And then we have a velvet ribbon, and this one is Pale Papaya. And so how this ribbon share will work is I will send 1/5 of each of the spools of each of, oh, I forgot one. And then there are these twines. So, so I will send 1/5 of each of these spools. And so what that means is, like, for instance, the velvet ribbon only has 5 yards on it, so I'll send 1 yard of that. But say the Night of Navy has 10 yards on it, so I'll send 2 yards of that. The total cost, not including shipping, will be $17.50. And I will my goal is to set up the link today, probably later today, because I have another project taking place immediately after this video that has a timeline. anyway, I'm going to set up a link via Square. Orders, if you want to get in on this, would be need to be placed by January 4th. And then on January 5th, I'll place the orders. And as soon as I get the product, they will be trimmed up, put on some pretty nice packaging, and shipped right out. I'm thinking that the postage is going to run about $8.75 because the postage won't have gone back down after the holidays yet. So unfortunately, the postage is still going to be at that elevated amount that it is at this time of the year. But anyway, so I'm doing this ribbon share. So that is point number 2. Point number 3. Let's see, I want to set these in places that they don't get messed up. And point number 3 is if you've already got the mini catalog, on page, it's right towards the front, page 8, is this beautiful Country Floral Lane collection. So I'm going to hold it up. It's a Valentine's set, but it can be used for other things as too. Like I love that we are friends. Just wanted to say I love you. Anyway, there's some great stamps in here. There's a coordinating punch. There are 2 different sets of designer series paper. So there's some 12 by 12. I'm not going to go through and show it all to you right now because I want to get on showing you demonstrating this card. And then there's some 6 by 6 gingham. I am going to be offering a class in January. Oh, and there's these really nice gems. Really nice adhesive back sequins. I'm going to be offering a class. So please watch my social media for both the ribbon share and this upcoming class. This will probably, I'm having a hard time committing to more than 1 class at the beginning of this catalog. My husband and I are relocating cities right in the middle of this catalog. And so I don't want to overpromise and not be able to deliver. So I know for sure I'm going to do that one. There's a possibility of me doing another, but I'll have to let you know. Okay. And was that everything? Mini catalog. Oh, and the 4th item, there were 4 items. There is going to be a catalog launch party. I'm one of several participants. I think there's like almost 40 people already that are involved in presenting. January 5th and 6th. It's now gone into 2 days because there's so many people. It's going to be a Facebook. Okay, let me back up. It's going to be on Facebook. Anybody on or off of Facebook can find the videos because they will all be posted to YouTube, but they won't be posted to YouTube until after the event. So within about 24 hours after the event, you should be able to find all of the videos. I will be posting that event on my Facebook page and on my social media. It should be on my blog too. All of these things that I'm talking about should be showing up on my blog in the next 24-ish hours as well. So just wanted you to know that. And I'm actually going to be demonstrating that collection that I just showed you with the hearts and such. I'm going to be demonstrating from that collection for the catalog launch party. Woo! Okay, so I think that's everything that I needed to tell you. Now let's get into some fun. Let me show you how to make this card. And moving my keyboard and such out of the way, I'm going to move my camera so that it's pointing down. And let's see, I want to make sure I'm snapped in good there. And it's been a little while since I've been able to demonstrate, so been a few weeks. All right, so here's this card. It's a thank you card. I am using Cottage Rose. Then for the The sentiment I've pulled from Charming Sentiments. I did not fussy cut this. This actually has dies that cut out the words. And then I used the brick and mortar embossing folder. Oh, like I said, it's been a couple weeks or a few weeks since I demonstrated, so it's going to take me a minute to get my my mojo going on here. Okay. Bring in my project. So I'm going to start with a piece of Night of Navy. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Grab my bone folder and give that a nice crease, nice solid crease. There we go. Hi, Polly. Oh, and I see a Hilda as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you, thank you. So then this piece that I have already pre-embossed with the brick and mortar is 3 3/4 by 5. And the next thing that I am going to do is I am going to pull in my Whisper White craft stamp pad. This is one of the new mini, let me grab one of the full size. So here's the full size blending brush. Here's one of the new mini blending brushes. These are available in the new mini catalog that will be available starting January 5th. So I'm going to take this and I am going to, hi Carol. Hello, hello. I'm just going to put a little bit of this Whisper White on here, and I am not going to press, I'm not going to do a big amount of blending. I'm actually just wanting to hit a couple of those higher bricks. And I'm just creating a little bit of dimension. Oh, that was a little bit more than I wanted. Oh well, that's all right. You know what I can do is I can turn that around and use my flower to cover part of that, as long as I don't overdo in any of the other areas. Just wanted to highlight a few spots and give this a little bit of a worn look. And that'll about do it. And I can totally cover that up with the flower. I am then going to bring in some scrap cardstock. So these are my scraps for the pieces that are going to go on the front. This is my inner card. And I am going to use StazOn for my flowers because I am going to use this blender pen with my watercolor pencils. So just inking up. So if you're not familiar with Cottage Rose, I have demonstrated Cottage Rose before, but it has some really nice, this really beautiful bigger rose, and then the smaller. Then there's like these little 3 that you can use for building in around your bouquet or whatever. There's this stem, and then I see, what do I see? 6, I think, sentiments on here. I'm not actually using a sentiment from this today, though. All right. I am going to just, this is all going to be colored and then die cut out. Beautiful. Look at how gorgeous that turned out. Absolute perfection right there. Then I am going to ink up. I need 2 of these leaf stems. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. My husband and I had a very quiet holiday, but it was perfect for us. I had my latest back procedure on the 21st, and then we got hit with an ice storm, which was perfect timing because I couldn't go anywhere anyway. And my procedure seems to have been a total success, and I am very excited to be back. All right, so these are my florals that will be on the front. I am going to go ahead and stamp my inner card. My husband just went back to work today. He was home taking care of me and home for the holiday, so that was absolutely wonderful. And he went back today, and we are in the middle of a I should have mentioned that from the very beginning too. We are in the middle of a windstorm, and if I lose my power, I will lose my feed, so I apologize in advance if that happens. I am going to stamp my sentiment using Knight of Navy. Really nasty windstorm. Where my husband works, a tree came down on a car a couple of hours ago, and that was in the safer parking lot. My husband is a groundskeeper at the Portland Temple, and I've been nothing but worried about him and the entire crew's safety today. All right, I now have all of my stamping is done. I'm going to bring in my watercolor pencils. Actually, I'm going to clean off my stamps because that's the right thing to do. One of the things that I haven't mentioned yet regarding this card, back at in the middle of December, I participated in a blog hop with Kylie Bertucci, and everyone had an opportunity to vote on the cards. Actually, it wasn't a blog hop. It was you voted based on our pictures, and we had a link for you to go and vote with. And I was one of the top 10 winners, and the top 10 winners get to participate in a blog hop that started yesterday with Kylie and then us top 10, and I was in the top 10. So that's what this card was made for, and I appreciate anybody and everybody who voted for me. Thank you so much. Voted for my card. It was the card that I had originally. Oh, there was a flicker of lights. Oh, friends, I really hope I don't lose my electricity. I can't remember what I was saying now before that flickered. Okay, so I'm using the watercolor pencils. We have two different sets of pencils. I'm using 3 pencils, and they're out of the option 2 pack. The option 1 pack has more colors in it, but I'm using Flirty Flamingo, Garden Green, and Granny Apple Green. So I'm going in, and I'm going to pull this up close. And you see where these fine lines are? That's where I'm applying my pencil color. I'm not going to try to color in the whole thing because I liked this white and pink look. And I'm going to see how this is really nicely blended. That's where this blender pen is going to come in. So I'm just going to come in here really quickly and just add some of my pencil. I wish I could remember what I was saying when the lights flickered. Sorry about that. So do you play with the colored pencils? I haven't that much, but when I went to Onstage in November, I had the opportunity to attend a pre-party with stampers, and was introduced to a couple of different ways of coloring, and I actually kind of enjoyed this. I liked the outcome of this particular method. Okay, so there I've applied my color here. Well, I might as well go ahead and just blend it. So I'm just going to take, this is just a blender pen. This is not to be confused with Stampin' Blends. Oh, thank you, Polly. Yeah, it was really fun. I don't participate every month, but this month I did, and I was number one, I don't know, I think it was earlier this year, this last year. So really cool. So I'm just taking this, and it is gently blending out the pencil marks to look more like a watercolor. So really super easy, super quick. The hardest part is laying down the pencil marks in the first place. As soon as I blend this in, I will lift this up so that you can see. Let's see, did I get it all? I think I got it all. Isn't that pretty? I think I've got that close enough for you to see. So now I'm going to, I believe these come, they either come in a set of 2 or a set of 3. Let me look that up for you. They're in the annual catalog. And they are, let's see, ink and coloring, almost there. They are on page 129. The blend, there's 3 of them, and there's 2 tips on them. So today I'm using one end for my pink and the other end for my green, but then I can actually go and color a little bit on another piece of paper, and it'll clear out the end of the pen. But they do come in a set of 3, and it's $12 for the set of 3. All right, so again, I'm just going to follow the shading that Stampin' Up! Gave me by when they designed this stamp. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how intense this weather has been all over the United States. We know several people that have been sick. I know somebody else, I think if Carol's still on here, she was moving in the middle of all of this crazy weather. My husband and I, knowing that I was going to have the procedure, we got all of our Christmas done early. And that was perfect for us. We did have a couple of people or families come to visit for short little bursts. And just adding with my watercolor pencils. I'm going to double check, am I still live? Yep. I had a couple more flickers, and I all of a sudden can't hear my modem, or what do they call it now? They don't call it a modem anymore. Okay, so there's the pink. I'm going to pull it up close so I can see if I got it all. So that's just the pencil part. I haven't used the blender yet. And then I am going to hit some color on this little spray of, looks like little seed pods or something. And then I'm going to take my garden green and I'm going to outline these leaves. So because we are getting ready to move, we already took down Christmas. And I had started packing it, and my entire living room is totally in disarray right now because I realized after I packed it that the way I normally pack Christmas maybe wouldn't be the safest way for it to go in a moving truck. So I've got everything torn apart. I'm now going to, so I outlined in my garden green, and now I'm going to go back and color in with my Granny Apple Green. And I'm not going to worry about making it perfect because I'm going to be using that blender pen over this, right? Now, in my original card, I actually used a different color combination on the leaves, and I wasn't entirely thrilled with how it turned out. So I'm taking this opportunity to improve it. Just because I did it that way once, okay, hair's got to go back in a pony. Just because I did it that way once doesn't mean it has to stay that way, right? You know, I can learn. So I'm going to come back in here and color in these are all going to go through the same mini cut and emboss machine. All of these that I am coloring all fit in the mini cut and emboss machine. So just running an outline, and I'm not worried about making it perfect. And let's see, what else can I tell you about? Yeah, that catalog launch party on the 5th and 6th is going to be a real winner. And, you know, I lost track of how many countries were being represented. Several. So it's all different time zones. But everything will be available to go back and catch. Yeah, we went from being in the teens to, I think right now we're in the 50s. It feels like a heat wave. Just layering on some color, just a little bit more to do, and then I will finish up with the blender pen again. And then the card goes together super quick. So if you haven't played with these, so there's a couple different ways that you can use these pencils. You can use them just like coloring with a pencil, or you can use, we have, do I have that nearby that I can grab? Let's see, the water painters. They're not close enough for me to grab. Or using the blender pens like I'm doing. Oh, I forgot to add whatever color I'm going to add to the center here. So, you know, I think I'm going to add crushed curry. In the last one, I added a depth of pink. This time I think I'm going to add a yellow of sorts. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do, because I'm using the one blender pen today, I'm going to color in my pink, and then I'll probably go back and hit that crushed curry. So excuse me, I am just running that over that colored pencil, and then maybe a little bit from side to side. I hear sirens. My husband told me that, I mentioned earlier that a tree came down and took out a car in the parking lot. And he told me that I-5 south of where he works was closed down for hours because of an overturned semi, and it closed both directions. So there's all kinds of craziness going on because of this weather still. Lots to pray for other people. Let's see here. Super, super quick. You do not have to, you just barely have to even touch where you've had your pencil marks. You do not need to scrub it. You don't need to push hard. I am barely running that pencil right over the top, or this pen right over the top. And I'm gonna, did I get it all? I missed a spot right there. Looking to see if I missed any other areas. I don't think so. All right, so then I'm just going to go over that center real quick. I am going to turn this pen around and just blend in those pencil marks. I will bring that up so that you can see it when I'm done. Yep, we had a lovely Christmas. It was just super quiet, but it was just perfect for us. My husband was a little sad because we've been in this home, in our current home, for, it'll be 9 years in March. So we've had several Christmases here, and this particular home really lent itself well for all of, we like to decorate. So like we take down all of our regular decorations and home decor and really do quite a bit. And he was sad to think about not being here next year, but who knows? We might have an even better place next year. All right, so those branches are done. Now I'm just going to come in here, finish these. One of the things that I ran into this year, probably the only negative that I can think of for this whole Christmas season, was we got a live tree. We always get a live tree. And for some reason, this tree was sappy. And it has continued to drip sap all over gifts and cards and ornaments. And the tree skirt, which was hand crocheted by John's mom. So that has been a little bit of a bear to clean up. Okay, I'm going to pull that up close so that you can see. Did that turn out pretty? All right, putting my pencils back in their box. Some people keep these in a cup holder, and I don't have a lot of desk space in this room. Hopefully the new place I will have a new and improved studio. All right, pulling over the mini cut and emboss. Actually, I'm a little bit premature in doing that. I need to put my dies on these, don't I? So So I need this die and this die. And then I need the die for the thank you. Once I get this cut out, it goes together. Boom, boom, boom. I am going to use my Post-it tape to hold my dies in place. So this one is super nice. If I line up the curly cues on the end of the U on the two ends, then that cuts out beautifully. I love this Post-it tape. I was given some washi tape and I was trying to use that in place of the Post-it tape, and it was tearing my cardstock. That did not make me happy, so there is that one. I'll have to go back and use this again on the second set of the second leaf branch. Sorry, I think my head just hit the camera. My apologies. Okay, now I'm bringing in the mini cut and emboss machine. Something I want to tell you about the mini cut and emboss machine. In January and February, there is a joining special, and in the joining special, there is going to be a mini cut and emboss machine that's in what they're calling boho blue, which will be a new color. So if you have had any thoughts about joining, you might want to consider that. It is awfully cute. And the convenience of this mini cut and emboss machine, I mean, look at this. This is just so easy, so convenient. All right, so there is my flower. I want to put my die right back on my magnet sheet because that's something I worry about. Look at how beautiful those are. Oh, this is going to be absolutely lovely. Let me align. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Oh, thank you, Polly. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, the coloring turns out nice when given that. It kind of changes it to a little bit more vibrant when you use the blender pen. Okay. Going to put this through. And then I'm going to put that through at the same time. Let's see. There we go. I mean, look at, even though this is the mini, look at all the cutting I was able to do in one pass. And then it just folds up, handy dandy. With the joining special, if you don't want the boho blue, but you're still interested in getting a mini cut and emboss machine, that you do have the option of getting the white one like I've got. More to come on the joining special. Okay. So we now have all of our components here and ready to go. So I am going to put one layer of dimensionals on the back of the biggest flower. And then I am going to use, before I pull this off, I am going to there we go. So see, I can cover up that blob of white that I had. But before I go doing anything, I need to wrap my linen thread around this. I'm glad I thought of that. So I am going to put linen thread right about 2 inches up. And I like to use just a little bit of Scotch tape on the back to hold my linen thread in place. Let's see, where's my scissors? There we go. So approximately 2 inches up. Going to glue or tape that down. I am going to wrap my thread around twice. Tape down that end. And there we go. This is now ready for me to, I'm going to use my multi-purpose adhesive to glue this flat down. The reason I'm doing that is this is going to have one layer of dimensionals behind it. The thank you is going to have 2 layers of dimensionals behind it. So there's already plenty of dimension to this card. If I were to put another layer of dimensionals, and you know that I like to pop up my card fronts with dimensionals, but if I were to do that, this would be probably fairly expensive to mail. So we are going to, ooh, that was weird. Almost like there must be some atmospheric pressure kind of thing going on, because that glue was just popping right out of there without any effort. All right, so I mentioned at the beginning, this is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm centering, make sure I'm on my front, I am. So I'm centering. Oh, there goes my electricity. Oh no, oh no. Friends, if I lose electricity, you can find all the cutting instructions on my blog. And if I have to, I will redo the video, but it probably wouldn't be live. Okay, I'm going to get to this as fast as I can. So my flower is going to sit about like such. And I'm going to use adhesive to glue one set of branches coming down and another set going up. So I have not adhered those down yet. I'm using that to approximate my position. So there is the first set of leaves. Oh boy, electricity. Am I going to be making spaghetti on the camp stove tonight? It's a big windstorm. All right, and now I'm going to put that down in there. There we go. Now I can pull off my dimensional backs. Thank you, Hilda. Oh, I'm so glad that you like it. Yes. I like it too. I really like how the colors were so pretty. How that Night of Navy helped the other colors to pop a bit. All right, so there's my flower, my 2 sets of branches. I'm going to put 2 layers of dimensionals on the back of this thank you. So I'm making it double high. Do you ever have that where you want to hurry so badly because you're worried about something like maybe losing the electricity and you start shaking and you can't do what you're trying to do? You can't do it any faster. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to position my thank you down here. It's going to overlap the stem and the flower just a little bit. Just want to make sure I'm straight. It appears to be straight. Oh, but it appears to be laying on top of that flower. It needs to be butted up next to it. There we go. There we go. There is that. Get rid of these dimensional backs. Okay, before I add, so I've got gems and a bow that I'm going to add to the front, but real quick I'm going to add my inner message liner that we already stamped and colored. And I'm really excited about our upcoming move. I'm going to be relocating to an area that has a large contingency of stampers. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so there's the inside. I'm going to make a double bow. So my blog has all of the cutting instructions, the product links. The only thing it doesn't have is this video. Let's see. I wanted a slightly bigger bow. So I'm just using the linen thread. And I'm going to just attach it like it's on one of those branches right there. Grabbing my mini glue dots. I haven't trimmed those tails yet, but I will. Let's see. I could put it right. Yeah, I want it lower. I'm going to put it on this lower one. There we go. I like that. So trim, trim, and then there we are. Pull out my Take Your Pick tool. I am going to use gems from the 2021 through 2023 in color opal rounds. And even though I used Flirty Flamingo pencil here, I'm using the name of the color just went out of my head. Polished Pink gems. They're kind of translucent looking. See how pretty they are? And I thought they went really well with this blue and with this pink. So that's what I'm using. And let's put these here. I'm going to use 5. Wasn't crazy with my placement on that second to last one. So I will go back and move it. Here we go. I like that better. And my friends, we have finished this before my electricity went out. Woohoo! So here we are. Oh yeah, I like my color combination on the leaves of this one a little bit better. So the difference between the two was that I used garden green and granny apple green pencils on these leaves. Here I used garden green and old olive. And then here I used melon mambo for the center of the flower, and here I used crushed curry. So both are lovely. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, and there's a Mary. Oh, hi, Mary, from Alberta, Canada. Yeehaw. I've got so many wonderful friends up in Canada, and I appreciate you all so much. Yeah, you guys have been the best. Anyway, so here I am. Thank you, and thank you for joining me again today, and I will be seeing you soon. And as mentioned at the beginning of this video, I will be posting a class, a ribbon share. If you want the new mini catalog for me and you are in the United States and don't already have a demonstrator, I would be glad to help you with that. You can email me at stampwithteah@gmail.com. Thank you so much, everybody. Please stay safe, be well. Big hugs.